What's up, YouTube? I'm back. Chandler Short here. God, I love saying my name. Do you ever feel weird or like weirded out by saying your own name out loud? Well, I do, pretty often. But I say it anyways. For those that don't know me, welcome to my channel. Thanks for checking it out. So today I am actually just going to go fill up some gas at Costco, get some groceries because I'm going to Lightning in a Bottle festival down in Bakersfield, California. It's going to be a rowdy time. Got to just enjoy. I was like hesitant to buy a ticket, to be honest, because it can be quite expensive. It's a whole 5-day event. People look at it as like a step down from Burning Man, which, I've never been to Burning Man myself, but I've heard good things. And, ultimately I think this is my third year going to Lightning in a Bottle, and I will say it's not what people, who've never been would tell you. Oh, it's just another rave. It's just this, music event where people take drugs. While that is the case, people do tend to take a lot of drugs at these events. It's not always the case with everyone. Some people are very conscious when it comes to attending events like this, and it's really more of an experience, and it's about the art there. It's the music that you're getting to see live. It's the community of people who are very uplifting and positive and just out of the box thinkers, and there's workshops and amazing speakers and different kinds of things like that that you get to participate in. So for me, Lightning in a Bottle has always been a special event that I hopefully will be able to attend as many times as I possibly can. And there's no age limit or, now that I'm 27 years old, I can't go to this event anymore because I'm too old, or I'm 35. I see people in their 40s and 50s going to events like this, and even little kids that the parents bring their kids around and they put the earmuffs on them and they're having a good time at the event and exposing their kids to a different style of living and culture. And to me that's a cool and exciting thing, to be able to see just a huge variety of people come together and celebrate and just enjoy life and not take life so seriously, and just find a moment in time where we can all just celebrate life, because we tend to, in America especially, we tend to work so hard, and everything can be a drag, and we're constantly working and grinding and doing all those things, and it can just be very exhausting. And so I think people just need events like this, and this is a special event that I'm just grateful to be able to attend. And if you ever get the opportunity to go to Lightning in a Bottle, I highly recommend going with like a little small group of friends and just camping and getting a little dirty, dancing your face off, just having a good time. So yeah, can't say enough about Lightning in a Bottle. But to segue into why I wanted to create this video today, so I was realizing I've kind of been a little bit on and off with my YouTube channel as of late, which I've tried to, I've gotten up and running again and just been occasionally making videos every now and then. And at first, in the beginning of the year, I did put a little bit of pressure on myself. Hey, I'm going to get X amount of videos out. And, quickly that can get really exhausting. While there can be a fire burning within you, to create content, if you are someone who's seeking to put content out there, whether it's written or video format, it can be very draining, the whole process of not only creating it, but then when you're going to post it to YouTube or whatever platform that you're on, that is where a lot of time goes into it, and then you realize that, oh wow, this is like a full-time job. And as soon as it becomes a full-time job, you start thinking to yourself, well, is this something that I actually want to do? And then what happens is it becomes work, right? And so we tend to put it off. And I noticed that for myself on and off when it comes to creating content is, whatever all the gurus will tell you, oh, you just need to have your systems in place and, do all that stuff, which is true. I think it's really helpful to have your systems in place. And, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going. I think it is important to have all your systems in place when it comes to being effective with your time and creating content. However, that's just only one element that's going to make you a successful creator and be consistent. See, systems are not everything. And you could have amazing systems and a goal that you're working towards, but if you don't simply enjoy the content and the process of creation itself, you're never going to follow through with it. And this is something that I'm starting to learn years into many trials and tribulations of flopping around like a fish in a couple inches of water. It's like sometimes I find my flow and other times I don't. And it's a struggle. However, the times where I'm struggling with creating content and putting it out on YouTube for myself is when I don't see this process as an enjoyable creative process. It's when I put all this pressure on myself and it's like, oh, I gotta get this done and that can be beneficial in the beginning, but eventually if you're constantly putting so much pressure and oh, I need to get this video out and it's it has to be at this specific time and you're always putting these constraints, and that can be an unenjoyable process. And while you can build that rhino skin and continue to put content out there and just grind through it and just be like, oh yeah, hey guys, today I'm just making a video, and it's but the audience watching you through the camera can see right through you. They can see that you're struggling and you're not at peace. You might be talking about peace or personal development or whatever, and yet you are not in a place where you are even able to talk about that thing, and therefore people will tune out because you're not in alignment with what it is that you're creating. And I know that to be certain with some of my videos. I'm not in 100% alignment with what it is that I'm creating. And this is where you have to check in with yourself. You have to see and observe yourself almost like a third person viewing yourself from the outside in and say, do I actually enjoy this process? Am I enjoying what I'm doing? You don't have to necessarily love every aspect of the creative process, especially if you're starting out and you don't have a team. You might have to, this is where your systems can come into play and alleviate the stressors and the things you don't necessarily enjoy doing with this creative process, So, but the one thing that I have started to realize is if I am in the mindset, if I start catching myself where I'm procrastinating, right? And maybe you've caught yourself procrastinating where you're you're going throughout your day-to-day life and you're watching YouTube videos and it's really really for you to consume content, and you're within yourself, you're man, I need to be creating content. And you're I can do this. I can start a YouTube channel and build an audience just like any of these people out there that I'm watching. And yet here you are watching another video. And then you're frustrated. You're why am I just not, I'm not creative. You start doubting yourself and you start feeling oh, I don't have it in me. I'm just, and then you just start this negative self-talk loop, and then you continually watch other people's content and you just become a consumer. And now all that creative spark that you had, you're I don't even feel like starting. You've created such a big gap for yourself now that you're I can't do this. So you kind of just freeze like a deer caught in the headlights. And now it's like, oh, you're only watching other people's content. And I'm not speaking like, this happens to me too. And this is why I'm creating this video, is I noticed for myself, I'm like, I've been really good about watching other people's content. I'm taking diligent notes, within business related entrepreneurial type of content. And I'm just writing down notes, and I'm in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm so productive. I'm reading productive things, right? Personal development. I'm taking notes, but that is also a psychological loop that you are telling yourself, oh, I'm doing something productive. Meanwhile, you're not really doing anything other than consuming, and you're taking knowledge, which is great. Knowledge is awesome, but knowledge is potential power. So knowledge is not power if you don't do anything with it. So if you have knowledge, it's giving you momentum, but you have to harness that knowledge and actually move it and do something with it. So if you're watching this video, I hope this is a catalyst for you to set some time aside to just bring some more awareness to yourself within what it is that you're working towards. If it's a YouTube, I got cut out there. So if it's a YouTube channel or something that you're trying to work towards, bring that awareness to yourself. Why is it that you're putting off what you're putting off? You're avoiding something, right? And this is something for me when it comes to avoiding and finding myself procrastinating and avoiding. I take a step back and I think, well, I'm probably procrastinating and avoiding the thing that I have to do because I don't want to do the thing that I have to do. So how can I reframe that? How can I reverse engineer that thinking? How can I, if I truthfully and honestly want to create a YouTube channel and put myself out there, I have to enjoy this. And if I don't enjoy this process, I'm going to be dreading just talking in front of this camera. I have this desire to create and talk in front of the camera and use my voice because I think that it has the power and ability to impact many people's lives. But if I don't enjoy that, if I don't enjoy doing this, I'm going to put it off as much as I can and just put it off. And then it's like, I'll get around to it. And then, oh, I just need to watch one more video. I just need to read one more book. And then I will start creating. And then I'll get in front of the camera and do this when I'm ready. And see, that's a pattern, because that's where our inner perfectionist wants everything to be just this perfect little box where, oh, we have everything perfectly lined up and then I can start. But you don't need to know how, and you don't need to know all the details with how to get going and get the ball rolling, right? It's like a baby that's learning to walk. It's not like when a baby's born and they're just crawling around, right? And they want to learn how to walk. It's not like they just have this like blueprint where they're like, oh, let me read this blueprint step by step and I'll figure out how to walk. Okay, I've read it and now I'm ready. It's like, no, they are crawling around, and then, eventually just naturally through the evolution of their own developmental process, they have this desire and this innate drive to start moving and crawling and eventually walking. They figure it out step by step, but they didn't have the how or the blueprint or any conceptual idea of how to walk and how to get there. So they literally were at point A and they got to point B, not by knowing how to get there. They just started and they just went, and eventually they got to point B. So if you're watching this video, think about if you're really in that thinking mindset, try your best to get out of the thinking mindset. Take yourself away from your mind, which may seem like how do I take myself out of my mind? Well, you take yourself out of your mind by simply finding the present moment of what it is that you're doing and what it is that you love to do. So if it's like whatever it is that you're doing, It could be creating a video. Let's just use that as an example. I'm here in this moment creating a video, doing things. I'm being 100% focused in and present with this process. And therefore, there is no distractions for me to even like allow my brain to wander off on. And if I do start thinking, all of a sudden I'm like, oh shoot, like I'm not in front of this camera right now. And all of a sudden my mind starts wandering of like what it is that I have to do throughout the day. And now I can't create from a place of flow that's effortless. So I hope that helps. And I hope that maybe like gave you just one little nugget when it comes to the creative process and just allowing the natural process to flow and unravel. Like stop comparing yourself to other people and creators out there who have thousands of subscribers, who have all these big followings and blah, blah, blah. You know, they've gotten to a point, right? We haven't seen their climb. We haven't seen their evolution. Chances are they worked for 2 to 10 years even on their craft and just eventually got to that point where they're at. But guess what? It doesn't stop there. There is no endpoint. They will continue to work on their craft in the present moment and continue to get better and better and better at what it is that they love to do. But the main key element with anyone that is successful on YouTube, whether it's or being a blog person or having a website, the main thing that makes someone successful at what it is that they're doing, especially when it comes to building an audience, is that they love the process. They enjoy doing the work, and it's not even work to them. It's a creative endeavor. It's a project. It's like something like that they get to build and work on every single day, hammer and nail. And they're so focused on just hammering each nail one at a time that eventually all of a sudden they look back and they're like, wow, I've literally built a mansion. I had nails, wood, I had all these different elements, whatever it is that you have to work with right now, and you just work on it day by day. Oh, gradually, I didn't realize I could, use a power drill now. Instead of hand drilling, I'm going to use a power drill. Oh, and then they upgrade their tools, and then it's like, oh, I didn't realize I could talk to my neighbor who happens to be a construction guy who knows a lot more about building than I do. Oh, he just taught me this new life lesson when it comes to building. And now all of a sudden the dots start connecting, right? It's like that famous quote. And this is one of my favorite quotes of all time by Steve Jobs. You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future, right? So you have to have faith. You have to have trust in your process, believe in yourself. And ultimately, if you have that self-belief and that that there's a purpose burning inside of you, and you just have this innate desire, right, to put yourself out there. And even if you have no idea how to get to where it is that you want to go, you know that with each step, the path will start to unravel and it will start to clear and it won't be dark. The light will start to come in to your perceptual reality as you begin the process. So again, I hope that helps you in your process of creativity and to just take that pressure off of yourself, take a step back and realize that it's not about the money, whatever the outcome is that you desire. Of course, money is great. Of course, having an audience gives you leverage and gives you power. But before you get there, remember that each moment is the most important moment. So it's not about thinking about the past or the future. This moment right in front of you is the most important moment of your life. So just enjoy the journey, and I'll see you in the next video.